The recently unveiled US-Ukraine mineral agreement, as reported by the Kyiv Independent, is a stark manifestation of geopolitical opportunism masquerading as economic partnership. This deal, which establishes a reconstruction investment fund jointly managed by both nations, ostensibly aims to rejuvenate Ukraine's war-torn economy. However, a closer examination reveals a lopsided arrangement that disproportionately favors American interests, leaving Ukraine's sovereignty and security concerns woefully unaddressed. At its core, the agreement mandates that Ukraine allocate 50% of all revenues from the future monetization of its government-owned natural resources, including minerals, hydrocarbons, oil, natural gas, and related infrastructure, to the newly formed fund. While the fund's stated purpose is to reinvest these revenues into Ukraine's reconstruction, the absence of explicit terms regarding the distribution and control of these funds raises red flags. The vague language surrounding the fund's governance suggests a potential scenario where the US could exert undue influence over Ukraine's most valuable assets, effectively transforming a sovereign nation into an economic subordinate. Perhaps the most egregious aspect of this agreement is its failure to provide concrete security assurances to Ukraine. Despite being on the front lines of Russian aggression since 2014, Ukraine receives no explicit commitments for military support or defense aid in this deal. The document's tepid acknowledgement of the US supporting Ukraine's efforts to obtain security guarantees is a diplomatic platitude that offers little solace to a nation in dire need of robust defense partnerships. This omission not only undermines Ukraine's national security, but also signals a troubling abdication of responsibility by the United States. This agreement evokes unsettling parallels to historical instances where powerful nations have exploited vulnerable countries under the pretense of assistance. By compelling Ukraine to channel half of its future resource revenues into a fund with ambiguous oversight, the US risks perpetuating a form of modern economic colonialism. Such arrangements have historically led to long-term dependency and stunted development, casting doubt on the purported altruism of this partnership. Furthermore, the bilateral nature of this deal conspicuously sidelines European nations, many of whom have been steadfast supporters of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. By excluding these allies from the agreement, the US not only strains transatlantic relations, but also undermines a unified Western approach to countering Russian expansionism. This myopic strategy could have far-reaching consequences, weakening collective security frameworks and emboldening adversarial actors. The US-Ukraine mineral agreement, as detailed by the Kyiv Independent, appears less an equitable partnership and more a Faustian bargain. It offers Ukraine the mirage of economic aid while ensnaring it in a web of financial obligations and strategic vulnerabilities. For a nation striving to assert its sovereignty and rebuild from the ravages of war, this deal may ultimately serve as a cautionary tale of the perils inherent in asymmetric alliances. Joseph Schaefhausen, my independent commentary for Skilling's Mining Review.